For the continuation of commonly used standard and code in electrical industry, we have IEC 62548, which is under design requirement for photovoltaic. Under this code, sets out design requirements for photovoltaic arrays including DC array wiring, electrical protection devices, switching and earthing provisions. The scope includes all parts of the PV array up to but not including energy storage devices, power conversion equipment, or loads. An exception is that provisions relating to power conversion equipments are covered only where DC safety issues are involved. The interconnection of small DC conditioning units intended for connection to PV modules are also included. The object of this document is to address the design safety requirements arising from the particular characteristics of photovoltaic systems and general requirements. Next code is IEC 60384, which is fixed capacitors. Under this code, a generic specification and is applicable to fixed capacitors for use in electronic equipment. It establishes standard terms, inspection procedures, and methods of test for use in sectional and detailed specification of electronic components for quality assessment or any other purposes. Next common standard and code that used in electrical industry is IEC 60143, which is series capacitors. So under ng code nito, applies both to capacitor units and capacitor banks intended to be used connected in series with an AC transmission or distribution line or circuit forming part of an AC power system having a frequency of 15 Hz to 60 Hz. The primary focus of this standard is on transmission application. The series capacitor units and banks are usually intended for high voltage power systems. This standard is applicable to the complete voltage range. This standard does not apply to the capacitors of the self-healing metallized dielectric type. Next code is IEC 60076. Transformers. Under this code, applies to three-phase and single-phase power transformers, including O2 transformers with the exception of certain categories of small and special transformers. For those categories of power transformers and reactors which have their own IEC standard, this part is applicable only to the extent in which it is specifically called up by cross-reference in the other standard. Next code is IEC 60051. Measuring instruments. Under this code, it specifies definition and general requirements for direct acting indicating analog electrical measuring instruments and their accessories. This 6th edition cancels and replaces the 5th edition published in 1997. This edition constitutes a technical revision. So, para po dun sa magkaroon ng idea para dito sa mga commonly used standard and codes in electrical industry. Marami po itong marami siyang parts, maraming versions, maraming revisions. So, pinili lang namin yung pinaka-common sa kanila. And mahaba po yung nila. Mahaba yung laman ng bawat code. So, ang pinili na lang namin kunin is, and i-discuss is yung general requirements or your general definitions ng code. So, let's continue. Next is the code of IEC 61643, which is low voltage surge protective devices. Describes the principles for the selection, operation, location, and coordination of SPDs to be connected to 50/60 Hz AC power units, and equipments rated up to 1000 volts RMS. These devices contain at least one non-linear component and are intended to limit surge voltages and divert surge current.